I may have overengineered Biobricks just a little bit. Stick around to see what happened. Today, we're going to be doing some Biobricks, because we're going to need that for the rest of the game, in at least some regard. I'm probably going to overdo it. Let me get you up to speed on what I've done since the last episode, which was just a little bit. And you might notice this mess here. And this little mess here is where we used to have our plant matter frames being made and then sent off to Victor Terminal. And after we did the upgrade, I sent all of the iron and copper over here that we were sending to Victor Terminal, and I replaced everything. And now we are doing some processors. I wish I could zoom in. Just jump down. We're doing some processors. I just wired the things up for that. And we're also doing a little bit of Shiverthorn coolant. I didn't bring any limestone over here, so I'm just dumping what I got in this bucket here, which isn't much. I set up a tiny Shiverthorn production line over there to get extract, just to do the Shiverthorn coolant. And then I outputted some of that Shiverthorn coolant, or most of it, over here to make Mark II belts, albeit a little slowly, but I assumed if we could get a couple thousand, we could probably do what we want to do this episode, which we're already doing pretty good there. So this is where we left off last time with this room up here, and I'm probably going to expand it, but I decided I was just going to build and see where I could go with it. And I knew that today we're going to need limestone, so I went ahead and started a stairwell, and I didn't realize there was going to be a copper node right here. I totally forgot, so I kind of had to turn right once I got to this copper node, and I dug a tunnel, as we can see on the map, all the way around the limestone node, and then I started to dig out this limestone node over here, which is what we're going to attach ourselves to. So it's honestly not that thick. That kind of worries me, which means we'll need more limestone. But that's okay. It's what we're going to abuse today. We're going to set everything up. I'll probably have to expand this room a little bit further, because I'm going to probably load balance the merging of this just so that we kind of use it up evenly. I need to get a bigger mold size. That said, having coolant really does save the day. Although I need to go stop making Mark II belts so I can get some more coolant back. It's using all of my coolant. All right, this is a pretty decent sized room. Let's put down some more lights so that we can at least have a better look at what we're doing, even though it doesn't provide too much light. So we're going to probably set up, I don't know, 10 drills, maybe 9. Okay, so I have got a lot of drills down and started some level of potentially setting it up for load balancing the mergers. I'm not sure if this is where I'm going to go, but at least I'm trying with this. I'll just have to see where this takes me. I tried to come out far enough so that if I do fuel, I can come over like this. All right, let me try merging these belts. Luckily enough, everything's still kind of working. That's 120. By 3 of these, we're already hitting max of the belt. So in theory, here's where we'll use our Mark II belt. That way the merger is using Mark II. I could replace the whole thing with Mark II, but I started with Mark I, and I'm too lazy to change it. All right, at the very least, this is a start. Now I need to figure out the fuel line. We'll still have no idea if this will work, and then I got to figure out what to do to load balance these two. I have an idea. I'm still not sure where I'm going to go up with it, so I'm not worried about it too much, but I need to make sure for this to work that I can actually get fuel to all of these machines. So I have to now create some spaghetti, hopefully pretty spaghetti, where I can fuel these things. Alrighty then. Well, I have something. I'm not sure what it is, but we can at least get into the machine still. We're not blocked off from it. It is... yeah, it's a thing. I've done a thing. I have achieved a thing. Aren't you proud of me? The Mark II belts are going to be our output lines. I don't exactly know where I'm going to send them yet, as I was talking about earlier. And obviously the Mark I input lines here are for the Biobricks or other fuel to come in and feed the machine. I went ahead and tried to load balance them as well, not because of any particular reason other than I thought maybe it would look interesting, and it does in its own way. I don't know where they're going to go or come from yet, so we'll get there as we find a spot for all this stuff. We'll figure that out. We'll wing it. But I do want to decorate this room a little bit. Why not, you know? So we're going to do kind of like we did with the little power tunnel. At least we're going to try in its own way, but on a little bit larger scale. Why? Because, well, it worked. Now we're going to use power floors. We can do this. We can do a little double or a little larger up. We can even go a third if we think it looks good. And I'm questioning this too. But you know what? Either way, we got lights in the corner. That's nice. So we got one of these. Let's do one at the other side. All right, we got 4 corners done. Now we probably want at least another 1 or 2 of these bars, just for funsies. And luckily enough, our limestone node is centered pretty well. So if we put like 1 here and 1 here, it might work out pretty well. Be fun with some colored lights, but we can get to those from the side if I want to change the lights. At the very least, you can do the same thing here. So we'll do a 3 across there, 3 across there, and this one we're just going to do right in the center. This gives that little bit of depth and texture into the angle. How great is it? It's not bad. Not bad. It gives us something. Still need to do a little bit of rim around the floorboards where we're not having walls or something. Might do more to these walls, but we do have some limitations. And if I just put a bunch of power floors, then it's gonna, you know, it's gonna not be that great. It's just gonna be a big block. And at this point, well, I know we have some rock here. I'm just trying to add some definition. We could also add a single line across the top middle. Let's add 1 all the way across here. Okay, so I've done a little bit. I've played around with it. I'm still not 100% sold on the wall, and I still got to do a bit of the angled things here. But I did add an entrance to our tunnel here. I'm going to need more power floor, so I didn't overdo it. But it was 1 step higher than where we're at, so I just had to wing it and made a little extra stairway here. So we'll do our standard tunnel all the way down back to the other location. And have to make a stairway, but I think that'll do for now. I got to come back and maybe add some lighting. So we have a box. Looks great. And the great thing is we can see inside of it. So if I box the whole thing up, then you can't see as well on the map. You can get a little bit of see-through, but at least this way we can see it's a box. We can see it's doing something. You can see the lights too. That's kind of cool. So you can see the lights. Got some red lights there. So I need to add the lights here. Yes. All right. See you in a moment. Okay, so I've made a little progress. I've dug a bigger room at the back of our main room here. I added a ramp all the way down. And what's really cool about this is that I ended up hitting the dense rock, and I'm using it now as a back wall splash. I hope we have everything. It fits everything. I'm sure it will. It's pretty darn large. But I think it's pretty cool that we have that nice, dense, dark rock as a backsplash to the back of our factory. So we'll see where that goes. But now we need to start thinking about our actual production line. So we have our limestone node tapped down there, which we'll get over here somehow. If we're going to be doing biobricks, we're going to need Kindlevine stems, and I think I want my stems down here. That way we can kind of at some point stand here and we can kind of glance down upon the factory. So that'll be pretty good. So we're probably going to need about 120 stems a minute if we go with that route. I could plan for future threshing speed 2 and 3. If I really wanted to, I could build for that. I'm going to go with my original sort of 6 build, which shoots for 40 per minute. I could absolutely go for a 220 build, but it'll be several tiers before I could fully take advantage of that. Let's go ahead and use the back wall. I think what I want to do is actually have the threshers at the back wall, and then we'll have the planters sort of, my thing here. No, that's a terrible view, but I think we'll fit something like that, and that way we can have this. We can see the planters and then the thresher kind of sticking out on top of it. And that setup is pretty much done. We just got to output some stems, and we can just do the same exact thing. We'll need a space. Much as I'd love to have it right here, we can't do them right next to each other, so we'll have to do it like right here. So we can use that as our guide, and we can put the next set down. The outsider belts. Now I should talk, the concept behind this kind of build is just making the shortest path for the Kindlevine and the seeds to travel on. Because the longer the path, the more seeds you need in your system. So this sort of minimizes the amount of seeds we have to put in. 2 down. Let's take a look at what this kind of looks like from up here. Oh, that's not bad. I like this. I can see everything. That's nice. It'd be cool to put some colors in here too. Colored lights or something. All right, same thing as before. I'm going to use this as a guide for putting down my first planters. As you can see, once you get the hang of it, building these are pretty easy. Now, as I said before, though, you can build bigger ones. So you can do a nine scene. So 3 planters, 3 planters, 3 planters, or 12 of 4 planters, 4 planters, 4 planters. It works. The same basic concept. You just do load balancing with your belts. I'll have a guide for that here in the near future with all of the gory details for every setup. I don't know if I should put... Let me know in the comments, should I do like all of the planter setups in one video and then just have chapters so you can just click the one you want to see? Or should I like do Mark 1 planters and Mark 2 planters, or Mark 1 threshers and Mark 2 threshers, separate videos? I don't know. It's just, obviously, because of the way things progress and you get faster, there's a few variations. That is perfect. And each system here takes 32 seeds, so we'll need a total of 96, which I have plenty here, and I have more downstairs out in the main area. So that's sweet. We got 3 in here. We could probably fit... Oh, look at that. If our front... Did that line up? I don't think it did perfectly. No, it lines up right here, which comes right down the center of these. Oh, how sick is that? Mark this one as Shiverthorn. If we play our cards right, we might be able to use some sort of overflow setting or priority merger and take the plant matter from here and use it as long as it's being run. And then, I don't know, it's going to get more complicated. But if I do that, I can at least have this set up, and if it becomes an option, I can kind of set up for it, but I don't know how much room we're going to have, so... I don't fully know what I'm doing here because plant matter from Shiverthorn line is plentiful. And that's pretty sweet in the sense that you can use that for Biobrick production. I didn't really plan for it in this one, but I have room, so might as well throw it down. And if we can figure out a way to incorporate it, I don't know how much room we're going to have. That'll be great. Now, we know that we're going to do 40 stems per minute, so we should only need 2 filter inserters, which could do 60 on each one, and we'll be fine. Another reason I like the smaller setups, you don't have to worry about, we don't have stack inserters, and then having to come up with some sort of logistical belt solution, which does work. Keeps it simple, though. And we'll have our Shiverthorn buds come out this way. Might change this plan, but for now, let's just go with it until I decide something different. We have a little bit of room on the outsides that we could utilize. I might come through here like this. And then if I'm able to fit it, it's going to be cramped. We need some light. Let's be honest here. I can't see a thing. All right, we are lit. All right, so we're going to change our plan just a little bit. This is going to come up here. Now, I said earlier that I would try and load balance, but as you can see, we're a little tight on space. So that's fine. If one of these does more than the other, then big deal. Oh, you know what would be fun to do? Just for shits and giggles. So we're going to go with... Each one of these needs 20 per minute. So we're going to use a filter inserter on each one. We'll just do this because filter inserters can do 30. We'll be fine. We'll have to come up with a solution here, though. I don't have to have this ramp. That would give us more room. Yeah, that's a good point. I spent all that time building this ramp all the way down, but, yeah, I mean, I could tear apart this ramp I don't think this is gonna work. Holy schmoly, it works. I did not think that would work. I assumed it would have attached the splitter here and nothing would have worked. And it may not work. I don't know. But that might help us solve our problem. Because look at that. Because this can do this. We could also go under it if we so wanted to, but at least this helps us get the belting right. Okay. Okay. Progress. That's possible. See, what I could do, I got options like this. I could come around and go into the ground, ignoring that ugly mess. I could do that. That's one option. Same thing on this side. I just come over and go into the wall. Oh, I look forward to the day they get instant belt change sort of added. All right, cool. Cool. Once we get power, I can double check all the settings with overlay mode. Since we don't have power, let's not worry about it. Okay, so all of our threshing setups are basically done, including our bonus Shiverthorn production over here. Now we got to work on to the next area, which will involve assemblers to convert our plant matter fiber into plant matter, smelters to convert our kindlevine extract into limestone, and of course, somehow, some way, we got to try to incorporate leftover plant matter from here into our production line. All right, so I kind of have a plan. I don't know if it's going to work out, but we're going to try. We're going to try to do it up here, although I did go ahead and dig out a little sandwich floor down here, so if we need to use it, we can. I haven't taken out my slope wall yet. If we need it, we'll dig into it. We probably will at some point. We have room for belts down here, so if we find that it gets messy up here, we can move the belts downstairs. So we're going to try to work backwards a little bit. Let's just make the magic happen. So we're going to have at least 3 Biobrick facilities, maybe 4. It depends on what speed. If we assume we're going to have at least 150% assembler speed, or whatever the buff is, I think it's 150%, then we'll only need 3, because we're aiming for 120, which would make each one of these 45. But if we're not doing our numbers including 150%, then we'd need 4, because it'd be 30 each. So it doesn't matter. Let me put down some lights, because it's dark in here. So the way we're going to have to deal with this is that we're going to get like 180 plant matter from our Shiverthorn system. We need to do something with it. So we're going to take that first, and we'll convert the plant matter fiber to plant matter and take that second. So we're going to have to set up a priority merger, which isn't in the game officially. And there's a couple ways to do it. There's one that I think is better, but it's slightly more complicated to set up, but honestly not that hard. So we'll set up a... Let's switch belts here. We're going to be using this for a while, so we will use this belt. Let's give it a little room here. We'll do one like this, and then we're going to start maybe here. And so we're going to go down, create a loop like this. We're just going to do that every other one. We'll do that 5 times. We could do it more, but 5 is good. It ends up being a pretty good number. And let's just go to the other side, and we're going to repeat the same process. And you could do this the other way. You could go aim the belts from top to bottom or bottom to top, just depending on where you want the output to be. Right now I'm going top to bottom, but it can go either way based on preference. The priority belt in this case is where everyone's merging into. Actually, for a priority merger, in this case, the belt that's splitting and down to everything, the belt that's splitting is the priority belt. So in this case, the top belt is actually the priority. And the bottom belt is where everything is going to end up. But in this case, so we want our Shiverthorn plant matter to be our priority. We're going to send it in here. What's happening? Well, our Shiverthorn plant matter is being split into 3. So 2/3 of it are going down, 1/3 of it is going forward. But the opposite's happening in the lower belt. We're going to have our plant matter fiber converted to plant matter belt here. And it's coming in, and it has 2 lines merging into it. So only 1/3 of the belt makes it into the first one. So every 1 out of 3 of the bottom belt makes it into the first one. And we go here, it's basically the same thing. So then every 1 out of 9, so it's another third. So a third of what comes through will make it through this one. So our items in our belt, so 1 out of every 9 will make it through this one, and then 1 out of 27, and then 1 out of 81, and then this 1's out of every 243. Now, if that's not precise enough, you can just do another one. So in this case, if I do 6, we now have 6, which means the last belt is doing 1 out of 729, which is like 0.1%. So like 5 of them are like 0.4%, and 6 of them makes 0.1%, would make it actually through. So you can do 6, you can do 7, you can make it more precise the more you add. But what happens, but if the bottom belt, if it's the top belt, if there's nothing coming in or not enough to fill up the line comes in, then obviously the bottom line is going to fill in the gaps. So that means that we're basically taking the top belt first, at least 99.9% of the time, and sending it on out through the bottom belt. But the bottom belt, anything that comes in the bottom belt will fill up the rest, or if there's nothing coming up through the top, it'll take over. So it'll work. It works like that. And then we can have this split, this way. We need more than 200 plant matter, so we're actually going to need 2 lines. So I'm going to have to do this same thing again, but let's add some light here so we can see. So we're going to do 2 of these. So I'm going to do another belt line right here. Delete the top pieces. Bring in. Perfect. All right, now we have 2 belts providing priority. We will have to have the plant matter from here come up and be split between these 2. And then the plant matter fiber, we're going to have some constructors set up to convert from plant matter fiber into plant matter, and then that has to be split, load balanced. Well, these are going to need 80 per minute, so we can't just do it. We don't have stack inserters, so we're going to need to somehow do this. We technically could use 7 of these, but if we assume we're going to have 150% threshing speed, I think we can get away with 6. Probably get away with 5, but I think 6 will be easier. So you might be wondering, what in the world? Why are there only 2 apart? Well, I plan to do it kind of like this, or at least like this. Is this smart? I have no idea. Probably not. But it'll work. Perfect. That will be enough. That will handle our 80 per minute. There we go. Rotate these into place. These will take care of our 3 lines. Now, our 3 lines probably going to be over there. So in this case, this is where our pancake floor may come into a benefit. We can bring the 3 lines in from the floor, and they'll be evenly distributed among these 6 assemblers. Now, we need to convert these. This is going to be potentially upwards of 300 plant matter per minute. So we need to, with like 64 out of each machine. We're going to use this method here to load balance. I think this works. At least I did it down in our temporary factory down there with a smaller belt, and it appeared to load balance. It appeared not to cause a blockage. So I'm going to start with this, but if this doesn't work, we can use a bigger load balancer. We'll have room here. I'll leave room, so if we need to, we'll do that. But then I can just plug this one in here. This is the low priority belt. The lower one here is the low priority belt, so we'll just plug this into either side right here, like that. So any plant matter that we generate here, and we're gonna need to use fast inserters, because why not? Let's just put a green light at the front of every one of these belts. So that is plant matter. So what the heck? This is what I want to see. So now we're going to have something else down below that prioritizes like a priority splitter, an overflow splitter. So if our fiber overflows, we can send it off to something to use it for frames or something like that. I know there's going to be a flaw in the system. If we had like a sink or something, it would solve so many issues. But we're just going to have to hope and pray that I don't screw this up and we get backed up. I don't want to use a lot of containers. I know we could use containers, a lot of containers, to sort of buffer everything, but I kind of want to make sure that I only put containers where I actually want something, or at least try to minimize using containers as a tool to deal with the problems of my design. So if I can do the design so it balances itself out enough, then I can minimize the use of containers. I'm sure at some point we'll discover a flaw in this entire system, or someone's already going to see it, and then I'll have to fix it later. Uh-oh. No. No, 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 no! I should have left more room. I'm going to have to redo this whole section. I needed room here for the limestone. I'm an idiot. All right. Let me redo the... Let me move all of this over just a little bit so the limestone can come in. Okay, those are moved. We have a little room here. We'll probably, as I say, run the limestone from below because they'll be done somewhere else. We'll do the same thing where we'll have our Kindlevine extract sent to smelters, and then that will come in first, and we'll use a priority merger, similar here, and then limestone from the node will come in and be secondary, and then will be evenly divided among these, or evenly distributed among these 3 belts right here, feeding the other side of our assemblers. And we're going to probably want 4. We got to deal with the Kindlevine. I think what we can do is dig into my beautiful hill. I'm so sorry. I don't want to, but it'll work. So this is the fiber, and it needs to kind of like go in there. You know what we need? We need mining charges. We're going to go get mining charges. We need mining charges. To get mining charges, all we're going to need is some processors here. So I'm going to just take 250 because I use them for fast inserters too. So I'll just take a whole bunch. But just a spoiler alert going in. There's our 40. Let's do it. We're in.
We're in. Scan those mining charges.
I will.
And that computer has something up with it too.
I know, priorities. Let's go ahead and scan this first.
Something keeps pinging this terminal with the most irritating supply requisition I've ever seen.
Ooh, Crespi too.
It's the Excalibur. But why would they requisition? Hold on.
I need supplies.
It's not a requisition at all. Someone is using the supply management system to
Really?
send a distress call?
Dun dun
A
dun!
distress call? I've only ever seen one of these in training. It shouldn't even happen.
I should like put the sound effect over
These
it.
beacons only light up when someone becomes unable to trigger a distress call themselves. Or worse.
Why didn't you do it then,
We
Sparks?
need to find the source of that signal.
Okay.
Somebody needs our help.
Like someone with a car insurance? Mining charge. There we go. All right, now we can make mining charges. Although, are we going to need blue cores? No, but we have enough cores. Thank you. We can activate it right
Task
now.
Inbound. Mining charge.
We make any?
Manual placement.
Oh, we need
and
Shiverthorn
detonation
extract.
required.
That's okay. We have that. Now, if I do it right, because it's going to do a 3 radius sort of square. It's going to be a 3 by 3. So we do it here. My beautiful ramp. And we can do this. Then we can just run this belt right in there. See? I don't know if this is a great idea or a bad idea. We can also put some, I did this for the... If you saw the first opening shot of the release date trailer, you would have seen a shot that had something like this. And this is something where I built these long tunnels for like limestone and stuff, where I basically did this of some kind. I am so glad they gave you the ability to add mining charges on the power floors. It really helps. Really helps aim. All right, cool. So we're gonna make sure we set up our little gateways here. Now we have 2. I don't know what we're doing this ramp yet, but for now I'm preserving it, so just bear with me. This stair step isn't really needed anymore. Nor is this. Okay, cool. Cool. Progress. All right, let's plop a little hole in here and figure out what we're doing. So our belts and assemblers are right above here. We're gonna have to find out where they're coming down. Now, the nice thing I will say about having it raised like this is if we decide to bring Kindlevine or something else in through this, or the Shiverthorn in through these doors, then at the very least, or in through another hole or whatever, at the very least, we have like an easy space. It could come down and then come under these belts. So I don't know. That's what I'm going to tell myself right now. It's the lie. That's the lie that I'm telling myself, that I'm being smart. We got plant matter fiber going in here. They will come out. They will be... Oh, no. No, no, no. I forgot. I got to have a splitter. Oh! Okay, this isn't going to work. Because this is not going to properly split itself. So, yeah. Not going to work. All right, cool. I added some random lights just to brighten up this floor for now. We'll probably have to move them as we do belting. Let me figure out the belting for this, and I'll see you in a moment. All right. All right, I've made a little progress in my endeavors to get this done. So we have, obviously, this belt spiral here. So we have this priority system set up here. We have limestone ready for over here. And I've set up the plant matter coming from the shiverthorn. As you can see here, I changed it up so the plant matter was coming out of these. And the extract is coming out of these, kind of like the extract coming out on those. And so I ran that down underneath here into a priority splitter, or an overflow splitter. So in this case, it's kind of the same as a merger, except we have one input and two outputs instead of two inputs and one output. And in this case, it's kind of the same thing. The merging line becomes the priority line, and the splitting line becomes the overflow line. Basic same concept in this case. So I'm merging downwards. So if our plant matter is going to go up, and basically it's going to try and, fill up the biobricks first, but if for some reason the biobricks are backed up, which is more than likely going to happen, then it will overflow to this top line, which I don't know what I'll do with it yet. I think I'm going to just send it off to a fuel line to burn first or something. That way it can kind of keep flowing, so it can go out to the fuel line before the biobricks does, and that way they kind of get burned. That's what I think I'll do with it. Or I can also send it off to another line to get turned into soil or something, compact it down, something like that. I also set up the plant matter fiber lines. You can see more doors here. That's because I set up doors for Kindlefine extract. But the plant matter fiber lines are coming in all the way down there, and they're being sent off to 3 more overflow splitter setups. Each one's coming in at the bottom. This time they're merging up top, and that is linking up with this spiral here, and the overflow belt is coming underneath, which is going to I'll send that off to something where we'll go like maybe plant matter frames and other plant matter fiber usage, and then send it off to the fuel line to burn. I haven't got that far yet. One thing I need to do now is get the limestone up here, because I have those belts that need limestone. So I need to bring those 4 lines, or at least 2 lines up here, and then split it into 4. And we'll go right here just because. All right. Wish me luck. All right, perfect. We have a nice size hole. Yes. Yes, this works. This works totally fine. I'm okay with this. I'm not okay with this turn right here. It's pure chaos. I'm going to have to edge out this whole thing, because I can't stand the clipping. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Probably could use some decorations in there, but that's not really important. So we have limestone up here, technically, sort of. We got to figure out how we're going to do our fuel line, because we're going to have to, we have to prioritize, I think, plant matter fiber on here, and then prioritize plant matter, or prioritize the plant matter first. I don't know which. All right, so my goals now is I need to get the Kindlevine from here. We have to also set up a priority merger, because we have to do the same thing. There's like 3 of them. I could split it into 2. So I'm going to go put some smelters down and see if I can get these lines organized. All right. All right, guys. I think I've made a little bit of progress, although I gotta admit, there's so many belts. It's the amount of overflow and merger splitters that I have created is absolutely mind-bogglingly insane. I don't even know what that word was. I'm losing my mind here. This is so many to keep track of. It does so many things, and I have no idea if any of it's going to work. If you're wondering what some of this is, I believe these 2 are the Kindlevine extract, overflow system. The top belt will actually go out to the smelters upstairs. The bottom belt will, I guess, at some point eventually go out to a Kindle vine extract line to be used in other production. These lines are the leftover plant matter fiber, where the upper lines are going to go towards some form of plant matter frame construction, or maybe plant matter frame pressure beads, and the lower lines are being overflowed into a fuel line, which is going to be smelted or used by the smelters and the drills and stuff down below. And if those don't have anything going on, then the Biobrick line over here will take over. And this Biobrick line actually is, I believe, being prioritized by Biobricks and then overflowing with plant matter. I'm not sure. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. It is so complicated. I don't know what I was thinking when I decided to do this. It's ridiculous. I don't even know if it's going to work. This thing is just massive. And I got a lot of space up here, which we'll use for something later. But I think now I kind of want to plug it in. And I need to get some power up here and see if it actually works. Because there's a good chance that nothing works. And it's going to be a disaster. Yeah, let's plug all that in and see if we can actually get some Biobricks running. Because, you know, I could have just done one thresher setup and had Biobricks going, and yay, that would have been the solution. But no, I had to go crazy and try to see if I can create the moon or something. It's ridiculous. Okay, time to get some power up here and then see if we can start plugging stuff in. Biobricks are producing. Perfect. This should be, I mean, if everything was running perfectly, about 120 per minute, but we're not quite getting all the limestone we need yet. But that is on its way, as we are aware. So I think we can call this a success. At least for the moment. Long term, not sure. We'll need to get belts out of here and into a main production area to use up this extra plant matter fiber and plant matter extract. Here is our Biobricks overflowing to the fuel line. So everything will back up here pretty soon, just because, yeah. But look at that. I mean, it's flowing. As far as I can tell, I haven't checked every single belt. This is extra fantastic. This is uber. I love it. This is great. Look at that. Not a single storage container at all. I mean, this is totally easier, right? Yeah. Like, why did I put myself through this? Just to save myself. I could have put storage containers down here and called it a day. This is fantastic and cost me like 20 FPS. Well, we have this gorgeous area and this lovely little vaulted ceiling I created, which I created a ramp guide that shows you how to basically achieve this same effect if you want to create your own vaulted ceilings, which look pretty darn good. Instead of just being flat or empty, at least from the ground, you know, it kind of just works. I love it. So I hope you learned something during this video or had fun. I know I'm going to go a little crazy. I'm going to go cry now that that's done. You have a great day. And I'll see you next time.